Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Oregon. I'm your host, Mike Ducett. On today's episode, we have two very special guests with us, two people that are very important to the Oregon high school community, as we'll be sitting down with retiring OHS Principal Mr. James Pliner and welcoming our new head principal, Miss Maggie Zywicki, here on our episode today for Let's Talk Oregon. So I hope you're enjoying that warm weather out there and you're getting used to those new temps, because I sure am as well. So Mr. Pliner, as the weather warms up, that means obviously graduation season's coming up. That also means for you that you will be exiting out of your role here at Oregon High School. So first of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We've had you on the show before. This is your second appearance. Thinking back as you began here in 2015, did you think that you as head principal would make it to this 10-year mark?
Well, back when I started, you and I both had more hair, didn't we?
We certainly did. That's the truth.
I really hoped that as I took the next step in my educational journey, that this would be my last stop. That I knew the community that I was entering into. I knew the kind of resources and the support, and I certainly hoped so. 10 years, feels like a nice round number and a milestone. There's a lot of turnover in administration nationally. High school principals average about 4 years, and only just a bit more than 10% go 10. While longevity isn't necessarily the goal, I think that over that period of time, we've had an opportunity to build some things here that I'm proud of, and I'm really excited for the school moving forward, because I really believe the best is still ahead.
That's awesome. That's great. So as you begin to think back a little bit, what were those game changers for you over the years? What were those things or systems or people that allowed you to sustain a profession like this for so long?
Well, that's a huge question. I guess for me, it is always we're in the people business, and the work that we do, we're working to inspire young people and help them develop a plan beyond high school. And the parents of this community trust us with their kids who come here each and every day, and that's a huge responsibility. What I have absolutely loved about our staff is that together we have worked to understand who we are as a building from the very beginning. What's our data tell us about where our areas of focus should be? I think that my background as a teacher and really trying to help focus the work into small, high-leverage priorities that then we continue to focus on year after year has paid dividends. And I think that, you were a part of our leadership team from the very beginning. And I think the way in which we were able to inspire collaboration that was deep and meaningful and authentic really put everyone on the same side of the table, so to speak. And to me, just the collaborative culture that we've established here over the course of time and the leadership that has emerged from what is a really talented staff are some of the things that have been game changers and that I'm most proud of.
That's great. Now, you had a previous stint with us here at Oregon as the middle school head principal, and before then you were with Madison School District as well, and you began your career as a social studies teacher, or actually was it a fourth grade teacher? Fourth grade teacher. Yes. So, as you look back, for you in that transition from admin to teacher, what did you kind of keep with you as a teacher that you think helped supported you as an admin in this long-term role?
Yeah, and over the course of time while I was teaching, I also was a baseball coach, and baseball is kind of a passion that's always been a part of my life as well. And I think that I carry a lot of that into the work that we do, that we're coming together as a team, and we're trying to kind of just support people to do their best work. And, I think over the course of time, just continuing, I think the things that I loved most about teaching early on in my career had me convinced that I would never go administration, because it's relationships with kids that really matter, and I wanted to make a difference. And I had several principals along the way that had nudged and encouraged me to pursue administration, and I'd look at them and say, man, it doesn't look all that fun. The work that you're doing is kind of the stuff that isn't inspiring me. And as time went on, I found that, and it started kind of in work as an athletic director, and I found that if I could hire staff that believed in a certain philosophy, and that philosophy could translate into using the things that kids are interested in as a vehicle to teach real life skills. It really kind of inspired me to kind of be more curious about what we could do as a system. And I think the other thing that's been really important to me here is we've had autonomy with trust. I think that we've had to earn that, and the school district and the superintendents that I've had an opportunity to work for, Dr. Bussler and Dr. Bergstrom, and the school board have been incredibly supportive of the work that we've done here. I think that we've been able to really establish what I would consider a model for high schools to pay attention to.
Yeah. So kind of in that same vein of questioning, so what do you think back to as the specific highlights of your career within the OSD? What are you going to remember fondly next year as you
the people. The people. I think, the relationships that we develop through good times and struggles. And I think that we become kind of a family here. And, when we get together, we celebrate the good things. We always celebrate, acknowledge, and recognize the achievements and the involvements and the forward progress that our staff makes here. And we also then lean in and support one another when things are tough. And so, to me, it feels like we're a big school. We're 1,350. We've got well over 100 staff, 130 some staffs when we put T-shirt on everyone. And to me, it still feels like a big family, and I really enjoy it when we come together for professional development. And so those are going to be things that, I take great pride in. I really take great pride in celebrating the incredible talent here. When we developed, I think we're the only high school that I know of anywhere that has an educational journal. And I think the inspiration behind that journal is giving teachers a voice and giving teachers a voice to be leaders in our own community and to assert that we don't look outside of ourselves as the experts for how to move our struggles forward. And that, I think, has been wonderful. So I'd say those would be a few of the things that I guess, I'm most proud of, and I think that I will take great pride in as I move forward.
Right. And I think those are all wonderful things you've done here. And then what do you most value from your time as head principal? What's something that was one of your guiding factors, something that kind of kept you steering the ship forward even when you felt the pull of that ship dragging one way or the other? So, how did you keep your values kind of at the front of on your mind and steering that ship aright?
Yeah, and you've heard me say this a bunch of times. There are a lot of ways to do this work, and there's no shortage of conferences and new books and things, new shiny balls to chase. And I think that my style has been really to be really focused on what we know to be the important work and continuing to make forward progress, to focus on better. I think that in education we want new and we want fast and we want results, or we want to convince people that we're doing the right work because it's the fancy new thing that is on the block, cutting edge. And we really know the important work to do. We've known it for a very long time. And I think we often lack the discipline to do the right work and to stay on message. And I think that we've been allowed to do that. And we've been then able to be focused on our data, to continue to refine our problem of practice and our theory of action. Rather than reading 100 books, Mike, you've heard me say, I like to read one really good book 100 times. And to really implement that with fidelity in a system that then I've got teachers who know what we're built about. We're built on improving the instructional core. And then we can begin to speak a language when we're together in professional development that integrates all of the important things that we need to accomplish. That, it's that baseball coaching thing, right? If we all understand kind of the philosophy of what we're trying to accomplish in our playbook, and every teacher in our system and every support staff, who are incredibly talented as well, are on that same page about what our outcomes that we're after are, then we've got a chance to really focus on better. And so we've got so much to celebrate, and the data, I think when we look at our school report card and the growth scores that are really at the very top of the state of Wisconsin, we still can be better. We still have gaps that persist. And what I am most optimistic and excited about is we've got staff that are leading that work. And so I think the future is really bright here.
That's great. And I know you love your baseball metaphors. That's not just a philosophy. You still play baseball, that's right. Are you going to be doing more of that in your free time now that you won't be, to a specific place and time every day? Is that in your future plans, you think?
Well, the old man's base, the job didn't prevent me from doing that.
That's true.
So
well, maybe you have a little more time for that?
I think that, I'm going to continue to look for ways to have an impact, on this profession and to advocate for public education. I think it is the most important profession out there, and certainly, there's a battle to make sure that our schools have what they need and that we're able to continue to do the right work the right way. And so my voice, I want to continue to be there. I want to continue to support this community. The transition to new administration that, is coming from our own school building, and continue to support the staff that I've developed relationships. So, if I have a chance to come tutor or mentor some kids, and there's a space, I'll be there. I'll just call away. But yes, there's a fish or two to catch.
Fish or two to catch, and baseball to play. Some family to visit, right?
Absolutely.
So let's say somebody at home watching right now, and maybe they're an adult who's looking for a second career. Maybe they're, just getting right out of college. What word would you give to that person who's thinking, what, I might want to, what word of advice would you give to that person who says, I might want to try this? This sounds great to me. I want to be an educator. What would you say to someone just beginning their career?
When I decided that I wanted to be a teacher, there was a moment of indecision about several different career paths, and I couldn't have made a better choice. That I think there has never been a day in my career, regardless of what went on, that has been a bad day. That I feel like there has been a lot of purpose and a lot of meaning in the work that I've done along the way. I think the challenges have all drawn upon, whether my skill set to try to deliver, but also have challenged me to be better as a person and as a human being. And I think that, the advice that I would give to people is, it's not easy work. It's not, the rewards are in the relationship. You have to love the people that you're going to work with as much as you do the books and the content. You've got to be passionate about making a difference in the lives of people. And to be honest, the hiring that we've done over the past 10 years, that has really been highly valued in the folks that we've hired. That we want you to bring expertise in the area that you're working, but you have to want to work with kids, and you have to be willing to connect and to do that in ways that really is forwarding for all of us.
It's all great advice. So I know I speak for myself, and I speak on behalf of the Oregon community and the Oregon high school community, that we're very grateful for your time as a leader here in the district, and that you've made some lasting and solid changes in this culture we have here at the high school, and you will be sorely missed next year, and we all love you and wish you the best as you embark on this new adventure of retirement. So,
well, I love you too, and I love this community, and it has been just a blessing to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. In our next segment, we're going to be sitting down with new incoming head principal Maggie Zywicki. So stick around. We'll see you in a little bit.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome back from the break. I'm super excited to be here with our next guest, Miss Maggie Zywicki, who is the incoming head principal here at Oregon High School. For the past 3 years, she has served here as an associate principal. And first of all, welcome to the show, Maggie.
Thanks for having me.
This will be your first time, and as I talked with Jim, as you heard, that might not be your last time here on this show.
I hope I get invited back.
Really talk all things Oregon community, and we know, Oregon High School is really the heart of this community in specific. So, congratulations on that new head role. That's going to be awesome. Can you kind of tell the audience about your educational journey and how you came to be an associate principal here at OHS?
Sure. So when I think about my path in education in particular, really starts with coming from a family of educators.
Mm-hmm.
Both of my parents were elementary school teachers and found their own ways to kind of serve their communities in leadership roles as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was really committed to finding my own path and didn't really think that I wanted to be a classroom teacher, but knew that serving a community and people was important to me, and really just love kids in general. So I went to UW-Madison for my undergraduate degree and majored in human development and family studies, and really just took a lot of time to investigate how people develop, why are relationships important, how do families work, how do communities work, and then found myself really wanting to dig into that service role more and ended up getting my master's degree in social work. And during that part of my education, did an internship in a school. And so ended up starting in the Madison School District at Cherokee Middle School as a school social worker. And then from there, kind of just found my way into different leadership roles. I was a positive intervention and support coach. I was a associate principal at Madison East High School before coming here, and just have really loved the opportunity to help kind of guide communities in the educational system, and really building relationships with both staff and students has been the highlight for me, for sure.
So you've worn a lot of hats over the adventure of your career here, and not only that, but you're also an Oregon community member, correct?
I am.
So you do live here in the district.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so when we knew we were going to start a family, we chose Oregon in particular for the schools. And now I have a high schooler here myself too, so I'm a parent and committed to the community for that reason.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think then makes OHS, you said you obviously chose here for the schools, but what do you think makes our high school, Oregon High School, a really great option for our students in this community, right? And what do you value about that community here at OHS?
Yeah, so as far as options for students, I think first and foremost we have just a wide range of courses, learning opportunities, learning styles for kids. We really think about the student as a whole. And so we really find individually for students their pathway for them and help them kind of investigate those things. And our coursework really lines up with that. And not only are the courses there, but our educators, as you know, our teachers, our support staff really help kids find their way in a way that's meaningful for them. And we're not just focused on helping students get their high school diploma. We really are focused on helping them find their path beyond high school, college, career, and find something that is exciting for them in their next steps as well. So that's kind of one overarching thing. I would also say that we're really committed to being inclusive for everybody. So not only finding that right path for students, but doing that as a collaborative culture too, and community, making sure that everybody has a place here and can find a place in whatever space that they're in. So I think that's something that we should really be proud of as well.
I agree. We have so many
Yeah.
different options for kids and so
Yeah.
many different ways and so many different safety nets. And sometimes we have the safety net for the safety net. And,
Yeah.
we really do work to get those kids a path forward and make sure that they are aligned for what's coming next. So kind of as Jim steps away from this role,
Yeah.
what do you see will be some challenges that OHS will face in the next few years, and why?
Yeah, I would say just in general, transitions, are something that you have to plan for and prepare and leave room for people to kind of both kind of miss what Jim has provided, but as also an opportunity to get really excited about some new things that we might want to do as well. So just, change, right? And giving people time and space to process that for sure. And kids are really going to miss Mr. Pliner too. Like he is for sure the face and the heartbeat of this school. As far as other challenges, I think that we're a growing community, which is wonderful and so exciting. And it also just means that we have to be continually thinking about how to welcome in new students and families, and how do we continue to be a great school for each and every kid. And so that just takes work, and that's why that's a challenge. And then I think the other thing that's really on my mind in working with students and hearing from families as well is that students just have a lot coming at them, whether it be social media or, really trying to navigate peer relationships, during their teenage years. And we just have to, and things are ever changing, right? Even like careers too, right? When we are on our journey to help students find their next step after high school too, that landscape is changing. So we just have to be flexible and allow ourselves some time to think through those things and be ready for, because kids show up here with their best selves every day, and I think staff really do that as well. But it takes a mindset that we have to be flexible.
Sure. Flexible and responsive, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a really good focus to kind of continue and maintain. So, as you said, you talked about those challenges and changes. What do you see then would be a real central focus that you would have, and in what ways can the OHS staff, students, and community members kind of help us maintain that focus?
Yeah, so I think one focus that we have been diligent about at Oregon High School is doing learning and leading together. We are such a collaborative community, from, like how we do our learning as a staff, how we think about how to best support students. We're all in and we do it together, and I think that has to be a focus that we maintain, and not only between staff, that we're really collaborative with our community as well. I agree with you that this, our schools are the heartbeat of this community, and that's because our families and community members wrap around us as well. So there are so many amazing things going on in our community that touch our schools as well. So just maintaining that collaboration, not only within the school and with our students and staff, but with the larger community, is going to have to be a priority for sure. And then I think one thing that I'm very committed to is student voice and student leadership. And so, putting our kids front and center. They have all the ideas, and we need to give them space to do that. And I think we're doing a really great job with that. And I think the more and more we lean on them and giving them those opportunities, we will learn from them and will grow in ways that, like we might not have thought of yet because they're such an innovative group. So those are a couple things that are on my mind.
You have some of the best students in the world here, I
Yep,
think, in this
agreed.
building for sure. As I stated kind of in your introduction, you've been here for the last 3 years, had some time to learn and grow alongside everybody here at the building. And what do you see are kind of our biggest strengths as a community here at Oregon?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost is our students. They really care about this school and this community. They care about their learning. And so I think they're our biggest assets, no doubt. And I would also say our caring educators who are also just so top-notch. The amount of expertise in the room at any one time and their willingness to learn with and from each other is unmatched. I have not experienced that in any other school building that I've been in. So for sure that, and then, also our community, again, like I can't say that enough, that we are so fortunate to be in a district that our families and community members wrap around us. So I think, those are things that are strengths of ours now, and there's still opportunity for growth, for sure.
Yeah, as Jim talked about, we can always get better. We can
Yep.
always make those improvements
Yep.
together.
Yep.
So now that you're going to have a lot of free time, obviously now that you're in this new position,
Yeah.
but kind of tell our audience just a little bit about like what you like to do.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies?
Sure.
Jim obviously had his old man baseball that he
Yeah.
talked about frequently with the staff. What kind of keeps you going, outside of the work environment? And
Sure.
obviously, besides being a busy mom and educator, there's what else kind of is on Maggie's list to do, I should say.
Yeah, good question. So my family and I have been really, really dedicated to traveling the country and visiting our national parks. So I'd say anytime that we get, even a couple days off of school, we are planning our next, what national park are we going to, or what area of the country do we want to see that we haven't seen yet. So we're big campers. We like to be outside. And just like that family time together is
That's
100%
precious time, yeah.
what re-energizes me. And I would say, too, because a lot of our jobs are so dependent on, like, email and our computers and, like that screen time. I myself, too, as we're, like, getting ready to help our students with that next year, too, with some new policy, I'm really trying to put those things down as well and just get back to, like, reading a book and yeah, so I would say family time, travel, and reading.
Yeah, it's all good ideas for sure. I'd like to do some of those things myself. So as we kind of close out together, I know you've been a real valued member of OHS so far in your 3 years. You made a big impact, obviously. You've stepped into this new position, and just want to welcome you on behalf of the school and the community to this position. We have all our faith behind you, and I know we're going to support you 100%. And looking forward to the next school year, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing year, and we're going to continue on this tradition of getting better here at OHS. So thanks for taking the time today, and thanks for sitting with us. And those of you at home, we will see you next month on Let's Talk Oregon. Thanks.